Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic, Known Classics. This is episode number 1780 and Doubleshot number 1674. 20 episodes away from hitting episode 1800. Wow, cool. Now, first up is a book that I should have gotten last month, but I kind of forgot the fact. I thought basically I reviewed volume 3 before. Oh no, I have not reviewed volume 3. 2 I have. This one I didn't. We have Catwoman, volume 3, Under Pressure. Yeah, that's an actual song, Under Pressure. These are the final 13 issues written by Ed Brubaker on the book. No, the book did not end once he left. The book managed to continue for another about 50 issues. It managed to continue to issue 82, which was about, let's see. I think that was about, if I remember correctly, I think it was about 45 more issues. Now, the artwork, as you can tell by the cover of the trade, is done by Paul Galassi. And, of course, some help from Joe Palmiani. Now, here's a fun fact about the issues collected in this very trade. Prior to this trade coming out, only 3 issues were collected before. 3 out of issues 25, 37, Catwoman Volume 3. What issues were those? 34 to 36. You might be thinking, why were those issues collected for the rest of these? Batman War Games. Yep, that was the reason for that. Yep. And when you think of Burbaker stuff, this is doing 37 straight issues is not bad. I mean, take a look, let's say Gotham Central, that lasted for 40. And I think he was working the book at the same time working on this book and Detective. We work at DC. Ed Brubaker doesn't work at DC anymore. If you want, he does currently. I think he does some independent stuff. Yes, I think he mostly works for Image now. Yes. Yeah, it's kind of interesting though. Burbaker, awesome writer, and yet, like, at the time this came out, I think he had just did this book, like, in 2002. Yes, he actually did the book. I think it was just after he wrapped up his run for Batman. Yes, he wasn't on Batman very long. No, surprisingly, he wasn't. I think, yeah, he came on the book just after he did Batman. So, yeah. And I think just after I think it was, from look of it, I think he was, from my look up correctly, I think he ended up both Catwoman and Gotham Central around the same exact time. And then he, of course, did a few other stuff after this, an issue of Batman Gotham Knights, an issue of Hawkman, the Batman Labs one-shot, which he did prior to this. Last thing he did was Catwoman 80 Anniversary Super Spectacular. Yep. That was the last thing he did. And I'll talk more about his stuff for DC when I finish up here. Yes. Now, in these issues, mostly you have Catwoman take on a character who was created by Ed Brubaker, Ziz. Yes, a guy who, get this, his power is that he, well, what's the best way to describe it? He simply put an assassin who was a gangster. Oh yeah, he was a gangster, right? Yeah. I mean, Burbaker did create him. It's kind of surprising, though. He brought him back for these issues. And then he just, by the way, he said he was in prison for 2 years. Yeah, this. And, yeah, pretty much he appeared very heavily in the pages of Batman. And he appeared in these issues for Catwoman. Pretty much his whole trade. Almost all these issues are simply Catwoman and Zaz, basically, in the book. And, after this, basically, this character would only appear one more time in some issues of the Battle. I think it was he returned to pages of Detective Comics. Let's see, where he appeared in the Pipeline. Yes, the Pipeline storyline. Yep. Oh, yeah, definitely. Comic book issue 25, and he's here for pretty much the whole run. Yeah, we also find out issues about Holly Robinson getting a girlfriend, which, yeah, Holly Robinson, the outed as a lesbian in these very issues. Yep, they did. And there's a whole thing in here about, oh, like her basically wearing an alternate costume of Selena's. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Now you might be thinking, what do I think about the Paul Glacy artwork in here? I know Glenn Carr gives him a lot of flack for his lack of creativity. Now these issues also featured the Penguin. Yeah, he appeared a lot in these issues. Yes, the Penguin loves appearing in comics. Like, my gosh, it is a lot. Like, post Flashpoint, I mean, yeah, he only had 335 appearances, but he was a sort of a regular recurring character in this book. Like, starting with issue number. Let's see. He started with issue 28. This is kind of basically where. That's kind of weird. Okay, yeah. He actually wasn't in the book very long. He was only here for a small handful of issues. I thought, well, look, it's Catwoman Volume 3. He only appeared one, two, three, four, five, only 6 times. Yeah, he appeared a little bit in Catwoman Volume 3, but he appeared a lot in the successor volume. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and the thing with these issues are that this is simply put Catwoman. Now, there is a mention here about Alleytown. Yes, Alleytown, which is basically the place where Catwoman currently is living now. Alleytown. Yeah, they actually bring it up in here, which is quite interesting to say the least. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they bring it up here, and she has a safe house there. And it's interesting that they bring it up because in the current book, that's where her base of operations is. In this book, it's all East End. And Paul Glacy, one thing he did do in this book is that we have to have Selena Kyle butt naked. And anybody can tell in the shadow, yeah, that's her butt. We have the show Selena Kyle butt naked, her put on her sexy Catwoman costume. And her palling around with Slim Brady, who Burbaker decided to have these two sleep together for some reason. I do not know why, but they did. And then later on, she slept with Slim Brady Jr., and this guy got her pregnant. Not Senior. Oh no, he did not get her pregnant. Oh no, his son did. Junior. Yep. And throughout these issues, mostly it's just Catwoman battling up the battle with Zaz. Yeah, he breaks out of jail with issue 25, and he's here for the remainder of this run. My guess is the reason why Burbaker brought him back, and this is my personal theory. He probably figured, though, why not? I mean, he probably was leaving DC anyways. Oh yeah, apparently he also appeared features of a series called Bloodhound. Yes, which is probably just after he had just wrapped up this book, basically. Like, yeah, it's kind of weird though. Like, the last issue appeared was issue 36. In this book, which came out in 04. This was like a year later. He appears in the features of this and Detective Comics, and that's it. Yeah, that is literally it for Zaz. That's Ziz. That's how you pronounce his name. And a lot of the time, like, pretty much almost all of his appearances are done by Ed Burbaker. Yep. The first comic he was featured in that was not done by him. Yeah, that was not written by Burbaker. Was it this one? It was probably a 12-cent adventure. Yes. That came out in. Yeah. So this was the first comic, basically, that Ziz appeared in, and it was written by Ed Burbaker, by Devin Grayson. Mm-hmm. The only time after that was the Bloodhound, Fugitive Bloodhound, and 3 Issue Detective, and that was it for him. Yep. And a lot of this book is simply Catwoman versus him for pretty much this whole run. Yeah, and she's seriously going to fight with him. And plus, you gotta love Penguin's attire for the book, which is simply the outfit he had from Batman the Animated Series, well, New Batman Adventures, which was, I think, coming out this period of time. And look, here's Holly making out with a woman. And I'm like, you lucky girl. Yeah, from what I can tell, Selina has no problem with her roommate being a lesbian. Nope, not really. Yeah, and then after the whole thing with Zez wrapped up, like, she apparently started fling with Batman in these very issues where these two had sex, and then like the last issue basically was Batman giving a donation to, well, Bruce Wayne giving a donation in honor of her and somebody else, which she was very thankful for. Yeah, and Gacy, like, has a particular way he likes showing women. Like, for what some reason, basically, like, Catwoman's breasts are basically very uniquely shaped. Yes, that's Paul Gacy for you. Yeah. And, yeah, for basically training to fight him, of course, she does fight him, and that's pretty much the gist of these issues. It's simply Catwoman, like I said, Catwoman versus Ziz. And she wins. Yep. Also, it's stated that he was actually in jail for 2 years. You're probably thinking, really? Was he really in jail for 2 years? Well, went to jail in 2001. Crooked Miles, that was his previous appearance prior to this Catwoman issue. And, yeah, it actually had been 2 years. So, that was one thing they did mention, that it had been 2 years since issue 587 for Batman. Yep. Yeah. So, Catwoman gets a fight with him, and she wins. Barely. Yeah, then Catwoman, and also this weird thing for a couple issues where Catwoman is whisked off this other world full of Egyptian stuff, and it is weird couple issues. It's somewhat pointless because the character who appear in these issues don't really appear again. No, seriously. Yeah, this character does not appear again from what I can tell. Nope, he doesn't. You have Benema, who is a Burbaker character who, right after this run wrapped up, never appeared ever again. Nope, never did. Yeah. It's a weird two-parter. Yeah, and then pretty much like, oh, she comes back and... Excuse me. Yeah, she comes back and then she's hooking up with Batman for a few issues prior to War Games. Yep, comes back after being gone for a whole month. So the previous two issues took place in a period of 1 month. I'm like, okay, interesting. You might think, okay, good direction with Batman, of course. Yeah, so after they spend the night together, so I think of the evening, and then of course you have the killers, the Catwoman, which is so cool. Yeah, still Paul Glace in the artwork. Some really good stuff here. Burbaker does a really good job writing Catwoman. And getting past the War Game stuff, which, talked War Games already, not that good of an event. One comic creator who I've talked to was not a fan of this event, Chuck Dixon. Why? They killed off Stephanie Brown in this event. Yeah, Stephanie Brown's death basically, that made him very unhappy. So basically, he revived her and got them on the ground. Yep. So this last issue is about Selina's birthday. Yep, Selina's birthday. And here's Batman, and here's from the Wayne Foundation. $100,000 donated to the Adams Psychiatric Clinic in honor of Selina and Magnolia Kyle. Oh. Oh, Bruce, damn. You're asleep, and no one's looking. I'm like, that's a nice gesture. donate money to a charity, to a clinic, psychiatric clinic. Okay, interesting. Maybe it'd help his sister or her sister. I'm not sure. He had this thing where Selena basically is talking to some woman. Well, actually, it's Slim Brady talking to a woman. Like, is this basically the mother of his only child? I don't know. Oh yeah, and by the way, after the events of yeah, it's Leslie. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yep. But yeah, the yeah, that's Leslie. I just couldn't tell because of the artwork. That was the thing I couldn't tell because of the artwork. But yeah, that wraps up this run for Catwoman by Ed Burbaker. It was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed reading this run. Yep. And the weird thing is, after this run ended, Burbaker left DC. No, that's not a joke. He seriously left DC. Like, of course, he worked on the Batman Last One Shot, but that was the last thing he did for 15 years. That one shot. Yep, that was the last thing he officially did. He also, of course, wrote that was running for Gotham Central. And you're probably thinking, okay, what did he do after that? Where did he go? He went to Marvel, work on Captain America for the next 7 years. Yep, got offered to Captain Marvel. Well, was that Marvel? From 2005 to 2012. And if you're curious, though, have I reviewed a lot of Burbaker stuff for Marvel? Oh, yes, I have. I've reviewed his entire Captain America run, Steve Rogers. I'm going to review his Winter Soldier book soon. These one books I have not reviewed from him that are from his time at Marvel. What if Ant-Man had died as Michael Ben? What? Huh? Books of Doom, his Daredevil run, Criminal, more What If stuff, Young Avengers Defense #1, Incognito, and The Marvel Project. That's it. That's all I've not reviewed. I have reviewed one trade of Kill or Be Killed, and that was it. One series I did enjoy that he did work on for Image. I really enjoyed this book. Surprising this book didn't last as long as it did. Velvet. It's a book set in the 70s where you have a woman who's basically in her 40s who looks very good for her age and she's got white chicken hair. But that was a really good book. It's weird though, like I've got a point. Isn't it weird though, like everybody who left Marvel like 2012, 2015, everybody except for Bendis and James Robinson with Image. Yeah. Those two went back, like James Robinson went back to DC and of course Bendis joined DC. But yeah, they left with DC. Like, Image, like, what? Yeah, seriously, that's what he does in that work now. Yep. Alright. Moving on to a book that there's been sort of some mixed reaction to this book since this book has been finished publishing. This is Strange Adventures. Yes, Strange Adventures by Tom King, art by Mitch Charles, and Evan Doc Shiner. And as you can see by the cover, you have Adam Strange back in the classic 50s look, which he kept for a long period of time, from the 50s up until present day. Interesting, though, he has this series, Strange Adventures. Yes. Now, this is one of Tom King's limited books, limited series that he works on. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You might be thinking, did Adam Strange make his debut in this book? No. No, he didn't. They had reprints from his books, from his issues in here. Yeah, they were the stories published in there. Yes. He actually first appeared in the issue of Showcase. And he was regular feature in Mystery in Space. Yep. Yeah, and if you're curious, who created Adam Strange? Julius Schwartz and Murphy Anderson. Yeah, he's been around since 1958. Yep. Yeah. This whole book it's similar in style to the Mr. Miracle book, which I got Tom King a lot of praise by dealing with the potential for suicide. This book is simply a classic style 50s sci-fi book, which you can clearly tell by the look of the cover. It's like an old graded cover where it looks like it's basically worn out its welcome. And there's graffiti on it. The cover's not like part of that, like that on purpose. I'll probably talk to Tom King about that when I have a chance to see him in a couple weeks. Now, this book basically does heavily feature on two primary characters in this book. Adam Strange and surprisingly, Mr. Terrific. Yep, Mr. Terrific. Adam Strange is married to Alina, who is not black anymore. Well, not in this book anyways. Alina's not black. She was black in Justice League United. And also, they, in this book, gave him back his daughter, who is actually grown up. A little bit older now. Interesting. And Adam Strange in this book, yeah, this whole thing starts out him basically where he published his adventures about his time on Rand as a sci-fi novel. And we had this repeated thing where everybody basically asked him about stuff. And there was stuff about his daughter later on in the book where supposedly she was killed. And Adam Strange did not know if she was alive or not. And it's kind of weird and vague of how Tom King wrote Adam Strange. Apparently he did not know if his own daughter was alive. I'm like, you couldn't verify if she was dead or not? Like, oh, she's died. Got killed by some aliens. And you'll verify. And it takes Alina and Mr. Terrific in a spaceship to find out, oh yeah, Adam Strange's daughter is alive and well. Oh yes, definitely. And also have this book where Mr. Terrific meets Adam Strange's father-in-law, who was Alina's father. And basically, because he dare ask about his granddaughter, he's like, slap Mr. Terrific, and Mr. Terrific slaps him back. He's like, you dare hit me? And he's like, you hit me first. I'm like, that was so awesome. That's typical Mr. Terrific. And Mr. Terrific, the way he's written here is kind of interesting. It's like, he's always doing these quotes from these various books. By the way, a lot of the covers, a lot of the issues start with his book signing of this Strange Adventure stuff. And it's basically Adam Strange on Earth a lot of the time. And his wife is here too, and yeah. Now, you're probably thinking, is there any other superheroes in this book? Well, there is. There's Batman. Because, of course, Batman. Because Tom King can't get away from the guy. He's in Heroes in Crisis in this book. And plus, he's doing a little bit serious right now. Batman / Catwoman. Yeah, it's like, this is one character he just cannot get away from. Yeah, he already left the book already. Why can't go away from? Like, oh no. In issue 2, we actually appearance by Mr. Terrific. Yes, and no, this book did not put him back in his classic costume. Nope, you gotta thank Scott Snyder for that. Yep. Oh yeah, by the way, you have appearance by Professor Pig, a Grant Morrison villain. Yeah. Yeah, and here's the thing. You basically have Mr. Terrific doing workouts and doing, like, quoting, answering questions. Even when he's asleep, like, And here's one for you. He's like, and basically his T-spirits are basically asking his random stuff that he somehow knows. And then you have him become Mr. Terrific, and here you go. Mr. Terrific in the classic jacket and everything. I love this look compared to his post-Flashman look. Because this is Mr. Terrific. Not whatever popped up in his solo book. That's something else altogether. Though he acts like Mr. Terrific, just kind of weird. Also, in the book he dated Power Girl. And then we come to Earth 2. There's no mention of the relationship at all. And Power Girl's hooked up with Kaldor, who is the black Superman of that world. Yeah. We also appearance here by Superman. Yep, Superman. Who Tom King did right before this in Superman Up, Up, and Away. Yep, it was a limited series he worked on. Yep. Anybody think like, yeah, Batman, Miss Terrific. Who else? How about Hawkman? That actually makes sense given the fact these two had two miniseries together. Though this is the one from the Hawkman book by Ron Venditti. Yep. More swashbuckling stuff in space. Pure awesomeness and finest. I love this stuff. Yeah, we have Batman breaking into Alina's home. Also, Alina's smoking in this book, which is something that she never did before or after this. Yeah, let's have her smoke. For reasons. And we also appearance in here by Hal Jordan. Yes, Hal Jordan. Because space. Yeah. Though he's not the last one. Oh no, he's not the last one indeed. Yeah. He won't be the last one. And here's the scene where, yeah, when Mr. Silver gets slapped by Adam Strange's basically father-in-law. Yeah, Mr. High Minister, why don't you tell me, where's your granddaughter? Where's Leah Strange? Slap. And then she slaps it back. It's like, you Earthman, you dare touch me. He's like, you hit me, I hit you. And he swears, what the, whatever, do you think fair play means? Oh, so awesome. But there is one other character who appears in this book who is a classic DC superhero. Martian Manhunter. Yes, Martian Manhunter. Oh, I almost forgot. He did write Superman one at a time, aside from the Superman Limited series he worked on. There was also the first arc he did for Batman. Yep. Martian, I think this is also the second time for him too. Yep. There's some minor political stuff here. And there's a scene where, oh, let's have Alina and Adam Strange basically have sex. I mean, hey, he's a hot alien woman. What do you expect? She's hot. I consider him one lucky guy. Of course, it's my opinion anyways. Yep. Yeah, by the way, Alina's actually alive and well. And though she's found by Mr. Terrific and her mother, there is, however, one thing that I think some people have never talked about this book, is that in the penultimate issue for this book, Adam Strange is killed. Yeah, he is murdered by issue 11. Yes, for some reason, Tom King killed off the star of the book, Adam Strange. Yes, Aaliyah, who is basically his wife, by the way, the guy's name is Sardan. That's his name. Alina. Yeah. She and Miss Terrific team up and they go and retrieve her missing daughter, which they succeed in doing. And, of course, she goes back to her home planet to fight the alien invasion. And the whole thing with basically her killing her husband, that was by accident. He was kind of basically acting out of control, and she was it was kind of a confusing thing. They did fully explain the very next issue. I mean, you could say that, well, yeah, and then we have this happen in the book. Yes, Adam Strange pulls his own ray gun on his own wife. Yeah, he's like gonna kill her, and it's like very confusing ending to this book. Yeah, this book has been good so far. He's like, who am I? I'm Adam Strange. I'm like, is that supposed to be a catchphrase for him? Yes, who am I? I'm Adam Strange. He's like, nah, Joe gonna kill her. She's like, I'm gonna get smoke. Yeah, it's like she's nonchalant about this, and then she gets to a brief fight with him, and then the gun goes off, and he's killed. Yes. And then Miss Terrific takes over the final issue of the series. And Leah herself goes back into space. While in the case of the daughter, she gets sort of in a way taken in by Mr. Terrific. Which I'm like, okay, that seems completely random. Yes, as far as I can tell, basically, I think that having her be taken in by, of all people, Mrs. Terrific seems quite strange. Like, I get the reason why. He's wealthy. He's wealthy. He can probably provide a better home for her than, of course, Alina, who basically went back to Rand. They'll probably tell her father that his granddaughter's alive. That's my possibility, anyways. Yes. But it was her decision to have her take her daughter to Earth and live Miss Terrific. But why Miss Terrific for some reason? Here's the weird thing about this. Miss Terrific, when it comes to Adam Strange himself and it comes to Earth superheroes, he doesn't really interact with them very much. I mean, if you think about it, the only ones he doesn't interact with who actually are from Earth are the human Green Lanterns, Hawkman, obviously, Superman, Batman, but Miss Terrific, not a character I was expecting. No. I mean, it's strange though. She drops off her teenage daughter with Miss Terrific of all people, a guy who's not a parent, who has no experience parenting. You might think, okay, why not Batman? He's probably too busy basically being Cave and Cow. He probably doesn't have enough money. Miss Terrific, probably because basically he's very trustworthy. That's my personal guess, anyways. Yep. But I'm going to give Strange Adventures a 9.75 out of 10. It's really good, but there's one thing I didn't like about it. And that Tom King decided to make Adam Strange like, oh, I'm Adam Strange. Like he's freaking Adam Cole, who's a wrestler. Like, I'm Adam Strange. Who am I? I'm Adam Strange. Like, that was one bit I didn't like about the book. I mean, yeah, everything else was completely natural. I think the artwork is really good. By far, one of basically of the Tom King books I reviewed so far. It's by far the most beautifully drawn, and basically one thing I also love about the book is the sci-fi aspect. It feels like a 50s sci-fi novel told in modern day. That's just my opinion anyways. Yeah. Interesting though, they chose Adam Strange to be in Strange Adventures. My guess is they probably were going to call this Strange Adventures, like call this Adam Strange. But they probably call it Strange Adventures probably because it sounds like a better title. But when I get a chance to meet Tom King, I will ask about that. Okay, so that's going to be pretty much it for this particular review, and that's going to be video tonight. I've had a lot of fun reviewing these two trades, and you might think, okay, like, what else is left to go for Tom King? I mean, I've already done his Batman book, Heroes in Crisis, this book, The Vision. Like, what's left? Mr. Miracle, Human Target. Let's see. Yeah, I've already reviewed Nightwing and Grayson, Batman, obviously. I think I've reviewed the Emperor Punch. I believe I have, yes. Mega Man, yes, I have reviewed that one. So, what limited series left to go for Tom King? Well, there's Mr. Miracle, obviously. His issue for Commodity Challenge, Rorschach, and Human Target. Yeah, I'm surprisingly not reviewed Rorschach, which is interesting to say the least. Yeah, but I'm definitely looking forward to reading more of Tom King stuff. And is it weird, though, that he only did one Marvel comic book? And you're thinking, really? He did one? One. The Vision. And that was it. Well, there was a reason for that. And the reason is because he has a closer contract with DC. Yeah. Oddly enough, for ongoing books, he's only worked on like just 2 books. And you scratch your head like, really? He only did 2 ongoing series at DC? Everything else has been limited series, just some one-shots? Yeah. It's all true. So, as of right now, there is officially 2 limited series of the go for Tom King. And that's actually more like 3. There is Mr. Miracle, Rorschach, and Human Target. And that's it. Yeah, that's it. That's all it's left to go for him. Yep. Yeah, so that's going to be pretty much it. So stay tuned for tomorrow. My review for the newest episode of The Riot Shield Hero and whatever comic we're working on. Okay? Video. Bye.